Hey there, it's Clinton again. I'm back with more Destiny. Today we're looking at a few of Eris Morn's quests that you can do as part of the Dark Below expansion. There are a bunch of bounties and new quests you can do through Eris Morn, who's the new vendor and quest giver in the tower. I'm just going to focus on 3 of them in particular. These ones I call the parts of Crota, and this is where you seek out the various, I don't know what you call them, they're like incarnations of the god Crota, and they're called his eyes, his heart, his fist, whatever, what have you. Interesting about these ones that they actually take you to parts of the Cosmodrome that have been sort of ignored in the past, with the exception of this one. We're in the refinery right now, and we're doing in the refinery. This one's called Heart of Crota. So the refinery, of course, you access by going through the divide and the rocket yard, and then you're just going to play through this area. It's very, of course, similar to the area that you traverse as part of the Devil's Lair raid in the core game. And you get to this point, and you're going to find a hive person just kneeling, praying to a orb of light, and you take him out. And that will trigger a spawning of many enemies, including Heart of Crota, which is basically a wizard. And yeah, what I did, I just backed myself into this small room and let all the thralls come to me, pulled out my shotgun, and just took them out one by one. Taking out the wizard is not too difficult. As you can see, golden gun saves the day, and then boom, got my Heart of Crota. Now the next one I'll show you is for Hand of Crota, and this is again on the Cosmodrome, and this time you get to go to the Lunar Complex. So you get to the Lunar Complex by riding your sparrow through the Moth Yard. And then you go up the hill, kind of like on the very far left side of the Moth Yard. Go up the hill to this building, and you can see a satellite dish. You probably recognize this from one of the early story missions in the core game. And again, it's just the usual business. The enemies here are not going to be difficult to defeat, since they're all very low level. Level 8 is the patrol, right? So in you go. I will say I did like how you got to kind of, as I said before, explore different areas that, in my opinion, are sort of underutilized in the strikes, yeah, basically the strikes. And when I do my patrols, I got to notice there were popular areas to patrol and not popular areas, and this is one of those areas I don't really find a lot of people hang out around. It's really good that they kind of singled these areas out and actually put some new quests there for you to, to take you in, and so you can actually reacquaint yourself with these sections. So remember this dark area where Peter Dinklage first kind of says, "Oh, I have a bad feeling about this," and this is where you first actually meet the hive in the core story campaign, I should say. And for a while it plays very similar. The key thing here is that you're gonna want to find a thrall all by himself. He's sort of huddled in a corner. I guess he's praying, or it sounds like he's eating something. You're gonna hear something when you find him. He's kind of in this corner back here. And you hear some sound cues, and then you'll find him. It's kind of hunched over, but I didn't really notice him at first, and he just stood up and started to hit me, so blew him away, and then that triggers the mass spawning of enemies. And I was being a bit silly here, just sort of backing myself into a corner with no place to escape. Killed a cursed thrall up close, almost died. I finally bought a clue and decided to maybe back out of this room, find a choke point where I could pick off people at my leisure. And there I finally find my defensive point. I say overall the quests that Eris Morn gives you are pretty neat. I'm not a huge fan of the bounties that you pick up from her. Some of them can be pretty tedious to try and do. There are specific places in the story missions provided in the Dark Below that really do help you achieve some of those bounties, like destroying a certain number of thralls, using this weapon or that. Doing those in patrols can be sort of problematic. Oh, okay, sorry about that. So I just finished the Hand of Crota. I had just killed him. He was just one of those Hive Knights or something. So now we're on to Eyes of Crota. And this will take you to the Terrestrial Complex in the Cosmodrome. And here, Terrestrial Complex, you cut through the Moth Yards again, and then you kind of head down that ravine with a waterfall. Drive past the waterfall, and you kind of go up this hill on your left. And there's another large structure. And again, just like with the Lunar Complex during the Hand of Crota, it's like another area that isn't often used outside of the core story missions. So it's kind of nice to come back and do something different here. And I do apologize, I do wish I had edited this so that we could fast forward through sort of like the traveling bits. I'll do that for next time if I do another one of these walkthroughs or guides. I think it helps a lot if I just sped things up. But my video editing capabilities are pretty basic right now, so we'll kind of have to see how things go in the future. But thank you for hanging with me as I sort of talk us through this final Eris Morn quest. So again, we're going for the Eyes of Crota. Basically another hive person that you have to kill. It's like a, hit the target mission. And as I was mentioning just before I cut myself off, some of the Eris Morn bounties can be a bit tedious to do, and I would say make use of the Dark Below story missions, since they kind of spawn a lot of thrall enemies for you to take out, and to also take advantage of the Dark Beyond, which is the first unlocked story mission for the moon in the core game. And I'm talking about that part where Peter Dinklage exclaims, "We've woken the hive," and then a whole bunch of thralls flood out of the Temple of Crota. You want to exploit that part too in order to get some of those, to complete some of those Eris Morn bounties. Those are the type of bounties we're talking about, right? So definitely use those to your advantage. So finally, we're at this section here in the Terrestrial Complex where you meet the Eyes of Crota. And of the three sort of like, Crota quests, I would say this one's the most interesting. You're in a larger area, you're gonna spawn in a lot more enemies. And I guess the view is the nicest here, right? So pretty much up until this point, it's still sort of business as usual. You're basically still on patrol, but now you find another hive creature because of kneeling. He's actually kneeling in front of the urn of sacrifice, and so you just take him out. It's pretty simple, and then you pick up the urn, and that's when the real action begins. Takes a while for it to get started, but yes, the dropship will roll in, as you can see here, and yeah, you'll start being pelted by glowing orbs, which I would say you should avoid. Those are the most dangerous things in this fight, is the artillery fire from the dropship. Everyone else is pretty simple. You just kind of hang back, keep your distance, like I'm doing here. And there is the Eyes of Crota. He's kind of hiding out by those containers. I guess that wasn't him. There he is, yeah. I thought I'd killed him. No, he's got a bigger health bar. There, we've killed him. So yeah, that is all I wanted to show you. It's been a bit of a slow week last week. I was away for a couple days and had just been trying to catch up on the Dark Below stuff, trying to progress my character as well. So in the coming days, we'll do some features on the raid as well as the new Iron Banner. Until then, thanks so much for watching. Drop a like if you like this video, and just see you all next time. Ciao.